Playing things is what I feel.
The flesh has been stripped from different parts of the body. This is stacked up on the table at the side of the bed. The right thigh bone is sticking up in the air. It's been split open with an axe. The torso has been skinned down to the rib cage.
In choice, it's like as if this creature who did this would also have this fetish about the breasts.
One breast, her womb and her kidneys were found under her neck. The other breast and her liver were found under one of her feet. Her heart was missing.
Can anyone pick up a last name on this? Can you get a last name?
On him?
Yes.
I said
S.
yes.
Right.
S, last
That's
name.
what I saw. It was S-A-R, S-A-R.
So his last name starts with an S.
But this person I know, as it's been given to me, was connected to such a high body, linked with I'm talking about the monarchy.
A link to some kind of an animal involved. I don't know what this means.
So are you saying that two people committed the same murders, or did one person do this and the other man copied him at a later time?
Yes, that's what I feel.
Okay, and was that...
The Jack the Ripper mystery has not yet been solved. The hunt is still going on for the identity of the real Jack the Ripper. Lots of names have been put forward as to who he was. As far as the surviving police records show, there were 3 official suspects. Montague Druitt, a teacher, a lawyer, he committed suicide after the Mary Kelly killing. His own family believed him to have been the Ripper, but why they believed him to be the Ripper, we don't know. Number 2 on the police list was Kosminski, a Polish Jew, a homicidal maniac who believed he was controlled by forces from outer space. Number 3 on the police list was Michael Ostrog, a petty crook continually in and out of prison. Nobody knows why he was a suspect. Those are the 3 official police suspects: Druitt, Kosminski, and Ostrog.
Now, can you tune in and give me a description of this man that you believe committed the murder?
In his 30s. In his 30s.
In his 30s?
Quite a slim man, not a heavy-set man. Here, facially, that's without a doubt, I get these like crease marks here. So I've got so we've got prominent, what's it, high cheekbones? High cheekbones. Dark hair, that's for definite. Dark hair.
Dark, yes.
And bits of grey.
I feel that he may have had a mustache.
Yes,
there was a facial hair on mustache. He always kept his pocket watch.
Yeah.
He always kept his pocket watch.
And he was very conscious of time. He looked at it frequently. And everything had to be to the minute, to the hour.
Yes.
And this is how he worked. And I would say that, yes, he had a mustache, but it was an unusual looking mustache.
Yes. I got a real quick image of it being kind of thick here, and then it comes real thin right about here, but pretty long.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was unusual looking.
And you had spoken about 2 individuals earlier.
Yes.
Which one is this?
This is, I feel, that the non-royal.
The non-royal person.
Oh, I don't feel that. I feel the other.
Okay.
You feel it's the royal person?
Yes, I
Peter?
do.
I feel it's the royal person.
The royal person.
I feel it's the original person.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I feel as well.
Original perpetrator.
So more and more names are constantly being added to the list. Every other month it seems we get a new suspect. So the mystery hasn't been solved. The hunt for the identity of the real Jack the Ripper still goes on.
I guess an interesting point in the Jack the Ripper investigation was the fact that there was so much information accumulated by the ISPR team. And being on the street itself, it was amazing to get substantial information that we could go back and find historically. But we will be continuing the investigations of the Whitechapel murders because there is so much more information to be found there, and also the real Jack the Ripper. While we were in England, of course, we had to investigate an old English pub. You know, because pubs are so well known there, they're so historical, many pubs are hundreds and hundreds of years old, and a lot of activity, of course, has taken place in those.
The pub itself is roughly around about 300 years old, and obviously over the years there's been extensions built on, so they're in different periods, the actual pub itself.
Okay. Yeah, good. Hit reset. What I'd like to do is we're going to just kind of walk out into the center right here. You guys, you know, whoever's got some information, go ahead and let me know, and we'll have you begin. Okay?
There's a gentleman's presence. There's a man's presence here.
I want to gravitate more towards the fireplace a little bit.
Just feel through this.
Almost here.
Here is where I feel something.
And the main area is the ladies' toilet, which was once the gentleman's toilet, but it was converted many years ago. So in the ladies' toilet, people have experienced a presence.
Oh, feel this. Feel this. This is active.
Okay, Peter, you want to give your impression?
Strangely enough, I'm getting a female energy.
Okay.
And I'm getting a name that begins with a D, but I feel two entities, not one.
Yes.
So would you say, are they both female or male and a female?
I would say male and female.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
definitely there's a male, but I'm sensing more female right now.
Okay.
For some reason, I think this was a way house, you know, a stop on routes or something.
It's been here a long time, and it used to be called the Grapes, and that it was a coaching house. And obviously people stopped here, passing sort of thing.
Here.
Feel it. Woo!
Yes.
Okay.
There's a spot in here that's very cool.
This is
I agree, Peter.
This is
I
this is
agree
accurate.
totally. I do. There is definitely a lady and a man that have coming into this.
Lady and a man. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
People have seen a lady going out of the ladies' toilets, and the landlady that was here before saw something in the kitchen, which she said was a lady with a grey dress.
I would like to comment, if I may, that I think that this, in fact, is a hot spot. A definite hot spot.
Also in the pub, there were two actual hotspots reported by the pub owner as well as a witness. And again, the team members went directly to those locations. And many times I find that a clairvoyant member will go to a location because of the residual energy that remains there. It's almost like a beacon, you know, that a clairvoyant investigator can feel.
But this is another hot spot, and I feel this is where the entity is very touchy-feely, so to speak.
Well, the experiences really is a lot of it relates to touching.
People sat at the bar, felt somebody brushing past them, being touched on the shoulders.
This is definitely, this entity is a toucher.
This
Is a toucher.
very touchy-feely in this.
Really?
When they sit down in this area, is what I feel. Touching your head, touching your back.
And we find that that does happen at times where you do feel an impression or someone touching you or walking behind you. And it's interesting to me that an investigative team of clairvoyants can not only identify the entity, but also state that this entity touches people.
I have to be convinced. I'm not saying that I disbelieve or believe.
During the investigations, I tried many different types of tests. I brought team investigators into a site one at a time to compare notes.
Is it naturally freezing down here?
Yeah, there's a, if I switch this on.
Can I ask you a question? Have you had, because this is my guide to give me this, I take it these are called lines.
Yes, beer lines, yeah.
Right. Have you had any disruption with your lines? I know you're very impeccable with your lines. You are impeccable. But you've had problems with your lines, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what's been causing this?
Well, occasionally we get it on this line here.
Yes.
You know what's causing it now.
Yeah, well, you've got spiritual interference with your lines. And that's what causes this. And it's a man who comes down here, okay, and he fiddles about and he has a good laugh.
I think he plays with things down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he,
Is there any one
I can actually feel him going. Let's see here, let me feel him.
Probably likes to smell, huh?
No, I think it's over this end. I think he plays with these things and puts them up.
Yeah.
You know, like these, the beer kegs or something.
Right? Yeah. I know it. Because he comes in, he fiddles about here, around this area. He comes here, this corner especially. Haven't you also had a problem with, not an explosion, but something to do with kegs pushing back on you? Yeah, it's him.
Get away.
I'm telling you. It is, sir. It is him.
Yeah, it was on the, that's right. It was the strongbow.
Yes.
And the thing come disconnected and well, they're full of gas, aren't they?
Yeah.
So as the beer goes down, the container fills up with gas and the thing floated off and I got the shirt.
Yes, sir.
It was the shirt.
Yeah, well.
Just put it on. Just put it on.
You can blame him for
And I
it,
thought,
okay?
oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
Ringing went upstairs, change the shirt.
You can blame him.
Many times when we enter a property, there is a myth pertaining to one person that haunts the place, and all the paranormal activity is credited to them. However, in this case, we found that there were two entities in this property. So even though the Gray Lady had the credit for the haunting, the male presence was there and was the one touching people. One of the really interesting properties that we worked on was Tongue Hall, built in 1594, an incredible house that still stands, and the entire team was overwhelmed in that property.
Tongue Hall was the home of the Tong family, who've certainly been here since the 15th century, if not before. But the house wasn't built until the end of the 16th century, around about 1564. There had been 3 generations prior to this, where each member of the family had married, begat an heir, but unfortunately died before they came of legal age to enter into that full inheritance. But the Richard Tong, who inherited about 1590, was able to get past that hurdle. So once he received his inheritance, he was then able to enter into the building of an entirely new house. It's very likely that the earlier one was either left to rot or had been partly dismantled of the materials during this rather unfortunate period. So it's a brand new house when built in the late 16th century.
Well, my grandmother always swore there was a grey lady walking here. She had the most unpleasant experience in the First World War. She had 5 sons fighting in France at the same time. 4 were wounded. The other one, Uncle Dick, he was out on patrol, and he was badly wounded and sank in the mud. Now, that seemed to affect her mind. She would often break off conversation, dash round to that part of the house and say, I think Dick's coming home. And she used to say that a grey lady gave her messages to say that she'd be in touch with Dick. I remember this as a child quite clearly.
There were certain times in that investigation where there was an entity who was very proud of its craftsmanship in a house. That was very prevalent when I first walked in that home, how proud the workmanship, the craftsmanship of that place was.
It's one of 2 males here.
Okay, there we go.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Derek.
I just tell you, I've got one talking to me now.
You do?
I very clearly.
Okay.
He's just told me to